Good evening to all the attendees and good evening to the speaker of the day, Dr. Prabir Kumar Dash. We welcome you on behalf of Ramco Cements for sharing your insights to all the construction professionals who have logged in. So today the topic of the day is green building and nano architecture. A very interesting topic because nowadays we are talking about environmental concerns, how construction can be made much more greener, much more environmental friendly. In terms of various perspective, it is not just one perspective. In terms of various perspective, we need to make it. So just a brief about the speaker of the day. Dr. Prabir Kumar Dash is a senior consultant of Messrs Eco Decor, an environmental engineering consultancy firm in Odisha. He is ex-principal SMIT Degree Engineering College at Ganjam in Odisha, ex-chairman Indian IEI Berampur local chapter. He completed degree in civil engineering in 1999 from IIT Chennai, followed by degree in architectural engineering from AMI. He has a master's degree in town planning from ITPL New Delhi. He was awarded PhD in civil engineering green building by International University of California. He has completed many projects for MES irrigation and was involved in designing of different projects of BMC, BDA, NACs, DRDA, ports, inland waterways. So he has completed a lot of projects, in fact. So he is the right person to talk about green building and construction. So I'm sure that based on his exposure to various projects, he would be able to throw a lot of insights into this. To his biggest credit is designing of Asia's largest Tibetan monastery in Chandragiri, Gajapati district of Odisha. That's, I think, a remarkable achievement because Asia's largest Tibetan monastery was being designed by him. So we welcome you, sir. Just before giving to you, let me just show the various future webinars that we are going to have. In fact, today after Dr. Prabir Kumar Dash's webinar, from tomorrow we will be having a panel discussion on role of construction industry in sustainable development. Then in the afternoon tomorrow, we have one more webinar on production and handling of concrete at site by Mr. L.S. Kannan of Lastan Tubro. Then on Sunday, we have development and use of concrete in nuclear power project by engineer Jagdish and an ideal housing complex in the post-COVID era. Speaker from Kolkata, Mr. Kaustubh Das. Then we would be having a talk by engineer Srinivas Reddy on repair and rehabilitation of concrete structures. That is by itself, it's a different branch itself. And then we have a lot of webinars which is being arranged. And from 14th to 17th, we have a series of lectures on geotechnical engineering, which is being organized in collaboration with Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, Mysore chapter. So these are some of the future webinars that we are going to have, and we expect that a good participation in all this. Now I would just request Dr. Prabir Kumar Dash to share his screen. And in fact, we at Ramco Cements are indeed privileged to have you, because we as an organization also believe in how to make cement manufacturing, marketing, as well as how to make our customers' practices also green, because that is the order of the day, in the sense that how we can make an optimal mix design, which we are able to do through our Ramco Research Development Center and through the promotion of blended cement, which by itself makes a durable concrete structure. So by promoting a cement which is enabling the customers to make a durable concrete structure, we are able to ensure that the longevity of the concrete structure is more, durability is more, thereby ensuring that the concrete is sustainable. So with those few words, over to you, sir, for sharing your presentation with all the participants. Welcome. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Anil sir. Thank you, also. Good afternoon to all the participants. It is my proud privilege that I have been invited for a talk about the topic green building and nano architecture, which is nowadays an interesting topic technology. I thank the host. I host Ramco Cement for this, and especially on sir and Mr. Chandan also, and all the hosts who have given me this privilege. Thank you very much, sir, once again. Today I am giving you a brief knowledge about green building and nano architecture. What is at present the hot topic in the field of construction, architectural, as well as planning industry. As you all know, dreaming about a good habitat not only satisfies the customers or the inhabitants, it must have a good impact on the surrounding environment as well as. That is, it must be a sustainable structure overall. Today's my presentation is in two parts. The first part being the green buildings and its various aspects, and the second part being nano architecture. I have some photos which has been downloaded from the net also, and for your presentation. Can you go to slides? I will go to slides. Sir, before coming to the main topic, I would like to introduce some discussion about the environmental points, which are very important and necessary before starting this presentation. First is ecological footprint, and second is carbon footprint. As you all know, ecological footprints include estimates of the sea and forest land covered, areas needed to absorb greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, etc., emitted from the human activities. They measure the demand human population on the earth. Actually, what happens when we talk about some construction, the materials what are needed for this are come to this point because of they have some impact on the environment. For example, if we talk about cement particularly, making cement, it contributes to various effects on the environment. Not contributes, it destroys cement by emitting carbon dioxide and so many greenhouse gases by manufacturing cement process. So there is always a contribution of greenhouse harmful to the environment. In a similar manner, carbon footprint is the amount of carbon dioxide. Sir, ecological footprint is the area mentioned because, for example, if we make a paper, or a paper, we want to make a paper, then we have to cut trees. The trees which took so many times to grow to make this.
So there's a problem with the sound, sir. If the sound is not coming, at a consistent this thing.
Now it is okay, sir?
Now it is okay, sir. Yes. Because the sound is breaking in between. Yeah.
Ecological footprint. Estimate open first ground. The land, sea, land, and first covered areas needed to observe greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, etc. by the human activities. For example, for the manufacturing of paper, we would like to cut trees actually. So trees took so many years, they contribute to water, air, all these things, and manpower, all those things together to making a piece of paper. A lot of energy has been wasted. The amount of energy in terms of land that is called ecological footprint. So it is nothing but to make, for example, in the field of construction industry, say cement industry, we need so many ingredients from the various sources, starting from the mining to water bodies and mixing proper manpower, all these things together. It makes a lot of effort and releases a lot of gases into the atmosphere and makes pollution, makes cut trees, cleaning, all this together. A cement, bag of cement, making a bag of cement needs so many areas of lost by the environment.
Sir, it is not clear, sir, still. I think you kept your mobile nearby or something else, because it is not coming clear. The sound is not coming clear. You can either remove that and just speak over this thing, if suppose that is okay with you.
So I'll tell you one minute. But 1 minute. Ajimada. Hello?
Now it's okay. I think it's a network issue, I believe.
No, sir.
Yeah. Now, yes.
Anyway, sir, these two terms, sir, is it audible, sir?
Yeah, now it is audible, sir. Yes.
Two terms, sir. Ecological footprint and carbon footprint. Sir, is it okay? Hello?
Yes, sir. Please.
These two terms contribute construction industry a much more. So actually, our aim is to decrease this footprints value during construction. For all general construction, you actually all the ingredients used in the construction field, right? So many. See, the greenhouse gas contribution by various sectors in the world. This all the things. See the right side. I mean, this one. See, the building material and construction industry contribute to 11% of the total greenhouse emission by other sectors, as emitted by other sectors. For example, building operations 28%, building material and construction 11%. Together it becomes around 30%, sir. So it is a huge amount of carbon dioxide emission towards the greenhouse. So our priority is to reduce this footprint. We must reduce this 30% to 10 to 15%, at least 5 to 10%. Sorry, sir. So 5 to 10% we must reduce. In order to reduce this, a huge amount of energy is saved, as well as we contribute a large amount of greenhouse gas must be reduced. So our main aim is, finally, our main aim is to reduce this carbon footprint to the atmosphere. For this, green buildings are necessary.
Okay, what you are trying to say is that, sir, this the amount of carbon dioxide emission which is coming out from various operations are in huge quantities. Like, say, for example, oil and gas, 2.6 billion tons of carbon dioxide. Through construction, it is coming from 3.3 billion tons plus 4.6 billion tons. That is through materials itself. There is a huge amount of carbon dioxide that is being brought out. I mean, that is something matter of concern, and that is the greenhouse gas contribution that is being contributed by various sectors. I think a very grave concern. Okay.
Especially for building sectors,
Correct.
building maintenance, building from the construction to maintenance, it contributes about 30% of the greenhouse.
Oh, okay.
So that is a huge concern for us.
Correct.
So this leads to our green building concept.
Okay.
Conventional building versus green building. The conventional buildings have a substantial impact on health and well-being of the people and the planet as a whole. In terms of greenhouse emission, all those environment pollution, all those things. They use the resources, generate waste, and emit greenhouse gases throughout their life cycle. According to the report, in India, about 11% of total energy consumed was used in buildings, especially in construction industry. And in USA, about 45% of their general emission, 2019 as estimated. So green building is the planning, designing, and construction buildings to match the demand for sustainable site, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, materials and resources, indoor and environment quality, innovation and design process. Green buildings consider cost over the entire life of the building, whereas conventional building is often focused on initial design and construction cost.
Sir, there has been a disturbance. Let me just clarify this. You are trying to compare conventional building with green building. In fact, conventional building is having a substantial impact on health and well-being of the people. So what we need to do is that we need to take all measures to see how it can be made green in terms of reducing wastage, reducing the emission of greenhouse gases and all that. And it is really worthwhile to notice that 11% of total energy was used in buildings in India as compared to 45% in the US,
Yes.
which is a substantial percentage. And one more important thing which you have covered is that conventional building is often focused on the initial design construction cost, whereas green building we are trying to look at from the entire life of the building. That is a very important point.
That is important.
Yeah. Okay.
So actually, definition of green building is these are buildings which makes utilization of maximum natural resources throughout its life from planning to maintenance and becomes most resource efficient structures. It has an overall positive impact on the ecosystem. Green building is the practice of designing, constructing, and operating buildings too. These are the criteria why we are designing for green buildings. That is to minimize the resource use. We must try to minimize the amount of resources, like those resources which affect the greenhouse effect. For example, you want to reduce the transportation cost. We must use the local materials. We must use the resources. Those who are cost effective and environmental. Um,
I think one important thing is that how to minimize resource usages and how to reduce wastages and make it, recycle is the order of the day, I believe. That's what you're trying to convey in this slide. Yeah.
That will come subsequently.
Yeah. And how to make efficient use of land, material, energy, and water. Provide a healthy indoor environment for its occupants. I think that is one of the main objective of a green building. So it has a positive impact on the ecosystem when we try to change a conventional building to a green building.
We must reduce waste and negative environmental impacts. Okay. Maximize the occupant health and productivity. Decrease the life cycle cost. A green building makes efficient use of land, material use, and water. That is again. Now we are coming to main principle of green building, the elements of green building, the necessity for making green building. First of all, the 5R principle that is very important to come into play for green building. 5 principle is nothing but and coming again. Reduce, refuse, recycle, repair, and reject. All these 5 terms are very applicable for the green building. Reduce. We must reduce the amount of waste generated, waste gases generated. Reuse. We must reuse the impact. I mean, for example, once water is wasted, then must be reused in the other purposes. For example, agriculture, plantation, it can be reused. And recycle. Recycle like plastic waste, all those things can be recycled and reused again. Reject. Those who are harmful, that must be rejected and repaired. These 5R principles are one of the main elements of the green building. Next, water quality and conservation. This is again one of the main necessity, especially water conservation by the help of rainwater harvesting and reusing wastewater. That is water quality conservation and next, energy and environmental priority. We must give priority to energy from the day sunlight, sun screen, all those energy, natural energy we must use. And environmental priority means we must orient our buildings so as to get natural wind, natural light, all those things. Next, indoor air environmental quality and occupational health priority. That is very important. We must look after the indoor environmental quality. See, there are when we use the paints, organic paints, they need to give us volatile organic activity. That is harmful to health. So we must look. So there are various aspects in those affect the indoor environmental quality. Occupational health pilot, that is the correlated subject. Is indoor environmental quality and occupational health priority. Those are correlated, and once health quality, environmental quality is deteriorated, then occupational health is also deteriorated. Now, materials and resources. Choose green and sustainable materials for the construction. We must use greenery materials, eco-friendly materials. Let us say just green concrete, wooden, bamboo, mud, all those things can be used. And selection, proper selection we can do for that. Waste, pollution, water use reduction. That is another. We must take care of the waste. Pollution is priority also. Water use reduction is also priority. Make the best use of natural life. That is same as energy and environment priority. Integrating nature and landscaping. Of course, greenery is must be a priority for us. Landscaping area, most of the area should be left for the landscaping area, greenery area, so as to get we must get natural air as well as nature's help from that. We must try to reduce the maintenance cost of the building. These are the chief elements, main elements of the green building process. Now, how we are going for the green building? That is the second aspect. See, first of before going to when we are talking about conventional general construction, we first design the building, then we must take as granted the site, then we design and we do the construction. But on the contrary, here green building construction, we first select the site. We must select the site which is suitable for the building. But in conventional buildings, site is given to us. We are doing design for that. That is the difference between site selection process. Starting with the assessment of site, like environmental effect assessment, whether water bodies is there, wind factor, all those systems are we have first to study that. Next, creating structures, integrating with the environment. We have to design the structure based on that available natural resources from the site. Next, proximity to transportation and walkability to amenities. That plays important role during site selection. If transportation is one site is selected, it is very far from the nearest amenities available, whereas the nearest amenity is very far, then transportation cost will affect the building inhabitants, as well as walkability to amenities, markets, all those things should be nearby. That is the selection process of the site. Minimum disturbance to existing landscape and site condition. Designing of green building. Integrated design approach with various stakeholders. This is important because we must talk to about various stakeholders of the building. For example, the nearest electricity, water bodies department, architects, the stakeholders means our builders, all those should be discussed because the cost is initially it is a little bit high as compared to maintenance cost. So we have to talk about all those things before this designing process. Site condition optimization trees, water bodies, wind flow, orientations, etc. It must be take care of the availability of trees. We must not destroy the trees, water bodies, wind flow, orientation. We have to take care of all the trees. All Indian codes standards should be incorporated in the design process. Economical aspect. Compare the cost of the green building with their respective conventional cases. See, if we are considering a green building, definitely it will cost a little bit much higher as compared to other, because we are taking care of so many factors about the energy sector. So we have to install solar panels, alternate wind energy, all those things. Those are initially costs are very high, but subsequently the maintenance cost, if you see in the lifespan of the building, it will definitely reduce. So comparison should be done prior to the construction of the building. So study of initial investment cost factor, saving the investment ratio, saving to investment ratio, life cycle cost analysis. All those these three are come under economic aspect. It is a very much important before going for a green building. Next, critical components. Critical components are nothing but indoor air quality, thermal comfort of the indoor climate, lighting quality. We must use as possible. Acoustic quality, outdoor and indoor noise reduction, use of recycled and environmental friendly building materials, use of renewable energy. All those things are a little bit criteria for the company.
I think you have covered all the key features before going for. In fact, one important point that you have made is regarding site selection. No? In case of a conventional building, site is given to us, but in case of a green building, we need to select the site. That's a very interesting point. Yeah.
That is important point, as well as it is for new building. That is for new building. Then we are going for a new green building. So that is we have to select the site. But if an existing building is greening, we are going to greening for an existing building, then that factor does not allow. So we have to take care of some separate aspects. So we can say just difference advantage of the and this advantage. Economical benefit. Reducing of energy by 20 to 30%, which is very much take care of this. 20 to 30 is very huge actually. Water reduction by 20 to 30%. It is also very interesting. Increase life of the building, improve marketability. All those things are economical benefits. Environmental benefits. Air, water quality improve. Reduction of greenhouse gas emissions definitely reduction. Protecting natural resources. All the natural resources are protected. Next, social benefit. Quality of life improved. Occupant comfort and health also improved. Non-toxic building materials is eliminated. All those are social. These are the advantages of the building. On the other hand, disadvantage, cost factor. Initial cost high by 15 to 20%, which is important actually. All the builders who are going for green building, they look on this only. So they must be study should be there actually between cost to investment ratio as well as maintenance cost, all those things. But anyway, cost is always increased in green buildings. Approval processes, certification cost is also too high because we have to get so many certification processes for this. Various agencies certification process have to come and scrutinize all those things. Somehow difficult process in this building system. Next, very important, expert knowledge. General architects, engineers may not do these things. They need special knowledge for this design. So that's why expert architects and designers are needed. Knowledge of environmental technologies are very much essential for this. So environmentalists should be
but it's very interesting to note, sir, that nano products and are also very much applicable to make green building a necessary this thing. It's a very important criteria.
Definitely, sir. That it plays nanotechnology plays very important for green building. We will come in
Okay.
the second part of this.
Correct. Because
This
you
is-
have mentioned in disadvantages. That's what I was wondering, because you have mentioned in disadvantages because of the cost factor, is it? Because when you go into nano product, cost will become higher, I believe, is it?
Definitely, that is initial. Nowadays, because it is in resource states, that's why
Okay.
cost is a little bit high. But subsequently, it will get reduced. But on the other hand, if you use nano products, definitely there are effects and good positive response from that. So cost factor is initially increased, but subsequently it will be very economical maintenance.
Okay.
So that's why
And one very important thing is that a very high level of expertise is needed for green building, because normal skills may not be sufficient. What you have mentioned is that a high level of expertise is required, because the thing
that
is
is
that
important.
modern as well as environment technologies have to be implemented if you have to make a building which is able to reuse, recycle many of the waste that is generated, and make it
So many experts, sir. Not only
optimal use of energy. So many expertise is needed to
that is a
make a design.
not
That is very
enough.
interesting.
That is not actually disadvantage, but actually
Okay.
it is needed.
Correct, because it will not be very common. No, expert knowledge will not be very common. So you have rightly put under disadvantage. Correct. Yeah, we understand.
Necessary of modern technology.
Yeah.
That is come actually, as you told, sir, nano architecture, things are modern technologies.
Correct.
Gradually, that is they are coming in the field of technology. So we'll talk in the latest.
Yeah.
Now, greening the existing building.
Okay.
The previous chapter was a new green building. Now,
Correct.
greening existing building.
Oh, existing building, how to green it? That is very interesting.
That is very important, sir. See, green building is not just for new construction.
Correct.
Because how many homes, office buildings, manufacturing plants, hotels, restaurants, and sports stadiums are ready to build? Ready built. Those are already ready built. So we must take care of those buildings. Green retrofitting, renovating, and remodeling of existing buildings. Perhaps where we can get the most of our green money. That is very important for us, sir. Those buildings are already built in. So that is the actually challenge to how to greening them.
Okay.
I am taking about, sir, my room.
Okay.
I am giving one small example. The room I am here sitting is painted with dark color. So it is a daytime. Till then I am
Okay.
wall
Think,
color.
yeah.
So if I change this dark color to white color or some
Okay.
color or some light color. Then
Oh.
the reflection is more, and we can reduce at least I put of my 2 to 3 lights on this.
Correct.
One thing. Second, I must open my window.
Okay.
Because I am using AC. So I used to close my windows.
Yeah, what you're trying to say is that both light and energy, they are interrelated. Yeah.
Yes, light and paint. I mean, paint and window are affecting the light. I mean, electricity.
Okay.
So I may reduce electricity by just painting my wall and opening some. At least in every building, we must not use light in the daytime.
Sir, your video is not visible, sir. You have to enable, because you have been talking about greening existing buildings.
Okay.
The video is not visible. You have unmuted your video, I believe. This is very interesting, because many of the existing buildings, if it has to be made green, I think a lot of initiatives have to take place, in which you have mentioned, like installing solar panels on the roof of a home, which many houses do not have that. And lighting systems in an office with one that uses LEDs, and retrofitting factory plumbing fixtures with low flow toilets and all that. I think it's a very interesting thing. When you're looking at water, you are looking at light energy, as well as you are looking at lighting, and in terms of, how to use the natural energy more. Everything that is that can lead you to that, I think would help you to make your existing building green. That is interesting.
So we can actually reduce the electricity use, at
Okay.
least that is the starter, and water, saving water is the main point of greening environment. So many small changes can be done in order to go for this. That is the greening of new building. There are a lot of expertise needed, and we have to do it and then take all the things.
Correct.
Next
Because in this, I think greening existing building, one of the challenges is retrofitting itself.
yes, sir, that is it.
That is retrofitting itself is a new field itself and needs a lot of expertise.
Yes, yes, yes. But again, some key features of just greening building. Good green architecture design is very much necessary. No potable water will be used for landscaping irrigation. That is very important. No potable water. No potable water will be used for landscaping irrigation.
Very interesting. Okay.
Very
Only recycled water.
Only recycled water will be used.
Okay.
Renewable energy in the form of building integrated solar panels, and we can retrofit solar panel, and we can use so many saving by just renewable energy, maybe solar, wind, or so many other alternate forms we can use. Various use of solar panels for domestic hot water heating also. Low energy light bulbs like LEDs. Conditions. Conditions
I think,
important to.
Okay. Because I think you covered almost everything for a green building, right from architectural design to the usage of recycled water for landscape irrigation and renewable energy in the form of building integrated solar solar energy. That is very important because that itself can save a lot of energy, and low energy light bulbs, very interesting. And then another thing is that ventilation control, lighting control is very interesting, and special focus on providing occupants with a superior indoor environment, especially the indoor air. The quality of indoor air, I think, is very interesting. And non-toxic or lead-free paints and wood preservatives. Even the building materials that is being used for construction is very important. Yeah, that has to be green. It has to be environmental friendly. I think all this will help you to reduce the carbon footprint of the construction and operation activity.
Overall carbon footprint to reduce the carbon footprint.
Yeah, and thermal insulation. Yeah. Okay, please, sir.
Key points for this.
Okay.
These are just continuations, sir. So many factors. Incorporate buildings integrated photovoltaic glass, a green roof, glass packet with low emissivity, high glass packet designed to provide daylight harvesting, provide individual control of lighting to reduce energy consumption.
All right.
Reduce potable water use, use rainwater harvesting to provide 100% water for landscaping. Landscaping design eliminates potable water use. That we call it as local grown and harvested timber from sustainable managed forest. We must use the local materials for this. Okay. It comes from the certification of green buildings.
So it all depends on the selection of materials also, because what your selection of locally available materials as well as trying to make it energy efficient is the key.
So the key points. So that is another part of actually selection of green buildings. Material selection is very important for green buildings.
Okay.
We must select various materials for this. Now comes certification process.
Yes, that is very interesting. Certification is very interesting for many of our customers also, because they need to certify their building for whether how green it is. Yeah.
That is very important certification process. Once you have designed a very good plan designed or even constructed, you cannot get green. Term green building cannot be applicable for the unless you get certification. Some selection modification.
Okay.
So to promote green movement and encourage builders of India, for green building, several certification processes formulated by international agencies as well as Indian independent bodies. Some of them are LEED certificates.
Okay.
LEED is nothing but Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design certification by US Green Building Council. There is also Indian chapter also, LEED India. It can be termed as LEED India also. They have a chapter in India. So they are also coming to certify this building in India. So that is called a LEED India. Next, by Indian bodies. It is the Indian bodies like the IGBS, Indian Green Building Council. That is independent body who takes care of this.
The IGBC, yeah, IGBC takes care of most of the certification in India, I believe. Indian Green Building.
GRIHA is also from India. GRIHA
Okay.
Green Rating of Integrated Habitat Assessment by TERI, the Energy and Resource Institution. Here they formulated this GRIHA system, rating system. Also, SBA GRIHA, Simple, Versatile, Affordable GRIHA. And BEE, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. All those are bodies who take care of this certification process. There is IGBC for different sectors.
Okay. Oh, this is for different sectors, yeah.
Green building is not only for construction of buildings only.
Okay.
So they play for IGBC for green building, new buildings, existing buildings,
Okay.
green homes,
All right.
green residential societies, green interiors, green healthcare, green school, factory buildings, data center, campus, village, township, cities, existing cities,
Okay.
green landscape. All those are various fields. IGBC takes care of this, and the certification is required for this in this green certificate. Various factor areas where it is necessary. We can take green certificate for this.
So certification for different categories is there. IGBC is offering right from landscape to buildings to
Yes.
all that.
So all different categories can be get green rating. Next, add the certification. This is another certification process. This is International Financial Company, World Bank,
Okay.
from the World Bank. They are also giving this certificate. And it has been just signed by Javadkar, Prakash Javadkar, IFC. Next, BEE certificate, Bureau of Energy Efficiency. All those are certification processes, those who are take care of this. Next, GRIHA. Features of GRIHA, save minimum, their necessity, what is GRIHA necessity? It's save minimum 25% to 50% less water than conventional building. They will certify that if we use 25 to 50% less water than the other conventional building at the same time. So they will give certificate. So they certificate standard actually. Use less water for construction, allow mandatory provisions of air conditioned buildings actually. Reduce energy consumption by 10 to 15% in comparison to conventional buildings, conventional buildings. Recycling waste material and reduce at least 25 to 75 of treated water. Segregate and resource recovery from waste in such a manner. Those are criteria formulated by GRIHA in order to get certification.
I think segregation is one of the practical aspects which needs to be followed. Segregation and resource recovery is something which has to be practically implemented at every place, so that that can go a long way in making a building green. And that is why I think the features of GRIHA certified building is segregation and resource recovery.
Segregation another aspect is the US Green Building certificate.
Okay.
They have their own certification process. And ITC building, that is ITC Moria Hotel in New Delhi, it was built in 1977. They have greener, they have their old building and certified with the platinum certificate underneath.
Oh.
First Indian building, old building, they have green gate. They make it green building. After the greening, they have green gate. And got platinum certificate. That is the highest rated certificate by LEED.
Platinum rating, yeah.
Silver, gold, and platinum rating. That has obtained platinum rated. ITC Moria. And so many of Canada is the number India is at the third position in the just related US Green Building Council, like the top 10 countries of lead outside United States. That is very good to hear. India is in third position after US, China, and India. So Canada is number one, with China and India at the second and third position respectively. After US, as per
Okay.
the lead secretary. After
So what
US,
you're saying is that apart from US, then comes Canada, then China, and then India.
China, next India.
Okay, that is a good development. I think India is in the top 5 at least. Yeah,
Yeah,
in terms of
that is
green
it.
buildings. That is very interesting.
Very interesting. These are green building systems, Griha, all those things.
Okay.
This is also green movement in India.
Yeah, a lot of initiatives have been taken in India also as far as green building movement is concerned.
Present India is expecting 1 lakh buildings by the end of 2000.
How many, sir? How much did you mention? The figure?
1 lakh buildings, sir.
1 lakh buildings are going to
Now
be.
now it is at the 1600 something buildings are now rated green now at present, and it
Okay.
is expected about 1 lakh buildings.
1 lakh building has to be certified by which this thing? Is it by LEED or by IGBC?
All those things together.
All those things together. Okay. Okay.
Together.
All together.
Altogether, they will expected by 2030.
Okay. Now, as of now, how much you told? 1600 building is certified, is it? Green?
1675 buildings.
Okay.
And 5,000 already applied for that.
Okay. Okay. That is very interesting. Okay.
It is very interesting. So these are very. See, I am going to show some of the important buildings in India.
Okay.
Those were certified by this. In India, the ITC Mohila Hotel in New Delhi, built in 1977, is platinum under LEED for existing building. So it was
Okay.
77. Now it has been rebuilt and greenized actually. So it has got a platinum certificate. So it is the first building in India. LEED outside. Second is Suzlon at Pune. These are two.
The Suzlon's office in Pune is the second one, is it?
Not second one. It is one of the top 10.
One of the. All right. Okay. It is their head office, is it, at Pune?
Sir, Pune. So designed by Christopher Charles, Pune-based architect, and has received LEED platinum certificate. LEED platinum. So what
Office in the garden concept. That is very interesting. Office in the garden concept, is it?
Office in the garden concept.
Okay.
So the beauty of this building is that 100% powered by on-site and off-site renewable sources.
Oh.
So it is using 100% energy from sources. So called recycled renewable energy. Second, the campus has 18 hybrid wind turbines.
Okay.
It fulfills 7% of the total energy. Turbines use 7%. This structure is designed in a way to ensure maximum daylight exposure, thereby reducing artificial lighting consumption.
Oh.
The infrastructure within the campus is designed to enable water percolation and thereby control stormwater runoff, thus contributing towards an increasing water table.
Okay.
So these are criteria by which it has done. I achieved this platinum.
So what you're saying is that this Suzlon One Earth has taken care of water, it has taken care of lighting, it has taken care of the garden, that is the office in the garden concept itself, which I think is a major role to play as far as green building is concerned. So I think they have taken care of many things. That's interesting.
Another Infosys.
Okay.
Campus. It is
okay.
India's first sustainable energy campus, include energy efficiency lighting and smart building system, which increases the coefficient of performance COP calculation to 8.
Okay, coefficient of performance to 8. Okay.
It is a rating 1 to 10 rating up to 10 rating. 10 is the highest. So
okay.
Also platinum rating from IGBC, Indian yeah, body it is rated. It is the first commercial building in India that has
Okay.
used radiant cooling technology,
Oh,
in which cold water flows through pipes embedded inside the slab. That is important, sir. The entire slab is embedded with cold water pipes, so
okay.
that regulates the temperature of the entire building.
Oh, okay.
That is called radiant cooling technology, in which cold
Radiant
water
cooling
flows
technology. Okay.
yeah, just like our cooling system. It is using.
Correct. Correct.
Uh, so it maintains the temperature of an entire building 20 degrees centigrade for the season. That is great. Extreme hot season it is making 20 degrees and cold season. So it can control it. So no need for the AC for this.
Condition. Okay.
The larger its largest campus, the Infosys Pocharam campus outside Hyderabad, has
Okay.
incorporated a unique radiant cooling technology that is 30 to 40% more efficient than conventional air conditioning.
So that means there is no air condition in this campus itself. There is no requirement, is it?
No, not
Because
at
the
all.
slab is being cooled by those cold water.
Cold water and just
And the natural temperature of 20 degrees centigrade is maintained inside the campus itself, inside the building itself. Oh, that is
that's why it
interesting.
is rated platinum.
Oh.
COP data.
So radiant cooling technology will not need much energy as compared to air conditioning, I believe. It needs much lesser energy, is it?
Okay, of course. CII Sorabji Godrej Green Business Center, Hyderabad. So Hyderabad has two important centers. Not only two, there is a IG, another airport is also there. So three
Okay.
important buildings in Hyderabad. This CII Sorabji Golden Godrej Green Business Center was the first building outside US to be awarded LEED Platinum.
All right.
That is important. First country to get this LEED certificate outside India, outside US, is Golden Sun. So the world's best example of passive architectural design. The building does not let out any waste and recycled it all within. This is important, sir. The building does not let out any waste and recycle it all within itself. So there is no
Sir,
waste.
we had given blended cement to this project actually. We were also associated at that point of time.
Yes, sir.
Blended
Very
cement
nice,
was
sir.
being given. So that's why when you said that the building is literally made of fully recycled material,
Yes.
blended cement is one
Yes.
of those green building material which can be used for construction.
Of course, fires plays an important role for the green building
Yes,
concrete.
as well as
Green
slag,
concrete.
both. I think we were associated with this building for its for supply of cement.
I am new to. Thank you, sir. It can be said that the building is literally made up of only recycled metals, all metals. Next, it is Infosys Limited, Mysore Infinity Benchmark, Kolkata.
All right.
Not Mysore, it is not Mysore, it is Kolkata. Third Infosys building to win a platinum rating, taking the total platinum certificate of the building. The five-story structure has been built keeping in mind a holistic approach to sustainability in 5 key areas, including
Okay.
sustainable site development, water saving, energy efficiency, material selection, and indoor environmental quality. The smart mechanism and efficient equipment load lead to 40% less than 40% less of energy consumption.
Okay. That's
There are
interesting.
various criteria. Here, Calcutta, that is Mysore, that one. Here it is Calcutta. Benchmark Calcutta. This 20-story structure, which is spread over 5,60,000 square feet, was seventh building in the world to receive LEED Platinum rating.
Okay.
Building is furnished with carbon dioxide monitor sensor, automatically senses any kind of emission is there, so it senses automatically. Wastewater recycling and humidification control. All these are criteria based on The exterior of the building is made of brick walls, blocks, while the roof comprises of deck, polyurethane foam for better insulation. That is important. I will come in nanotechnology. Buildings.
Okay.
Having so many.
Correct. So many buildings are there which has got this green rating. Yeah. Very interesting. Yes.
More green buildings in India and more to come.
Okay.
2005 close to India just currently had close to 2,500 buildings registered today, certified and about 1 lakh by 2025. So this is the overall knowledge about green building and the system.
Okay. That's interesting, sir. In fact, it is very interesting to know that it is going to be about a lakh building by 2025. That is a big challenge, I believe. Okay.
This is important.
I think many builders and developers would be realizing the importance of making the building green.
It is a priority, so it will be a priority for the next generation. Okay. Unless you get green certificate, you will not get admitted. Next year.
Yeah, briefly about nano architecture, sir, so that there is about 5 to 10 minutes more. Yeah.
Just it is an introduction type knowledge because it is a vast chapter, nano architecture. So I am going because it is related to green building. That's why I come to this nano.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Otherwise, this is a separate another topic.
Correct. Because within 1 hour, if you have to complete both, it's a big challenge.
Okay. So I am just skipping and a little bit speed about this thing.
Yeah.
Nano. As you know, nano is nothing but 1 by 10 to the power 6 of a mm. It's a very small, almost microscopic, you will say, nanoscale. So nanotechnology is nothing but using these nanoparticles in order to achieve some important task in various day-to-day life. So nanotechnology applicable in various fields of in the society, like in the field of defense, in the field of medical, in the field of so many aspects we are using nanotechnology nowadays. But just I am concisely speaking for this construction area. Various buildings.
The very concept of nano architecture is that you are going to go at the micro level.
Yeah, almost micro level.
Micro level, because
actually, you cannot say like that because nano is a microscopic level, but it is designed by just scientists. We are least concerned about nanoparticles and all those things. That they are simply giving us the ready-made food for us actually. So we are using that ready-made things because we are least concerned about the nanotechnology, science behind it, all those things. Okay. But they have manufactured it and given us to us direct ready-made.
Oh,
so
that's very
easy. Using this technology. Okay. Based on that technology they have used, we are using their product in order to achieve it. That is our part. So we are least concerned about the nanotechnology resource, all those things.
Right. Only the application part only we are concerned about. We are concerned about the application part of nanotechnology in buildings, like self-healing technology. Yeah. Self-healing concrete and all. Okay.
Yeah. So this is self-healing technology. Actually, what happens? Not buildings, skyscrapers, I mean. So exterior wall, we never use any bricks or all. We definitely always use glass panels. So cleaning those glass panels outside of the building is a tremendous headache. How to clean those glasses? So many technologies have been developed to clean those things outside of the skyscrapers. I am talking about skyscrapers. So then cleaning process happens. So it becomes a headache for the builders. I mean, to clean this thing. So nowadays, help to cleaning glasses, help to cleaning walls, panels, all those things are available based on nanotechnology. It can be, you can see the Lotus technology. Because if you see Lotus leaves, And water droplets fall on it. You can see it is percolating and collapsing in the leaf is impossible. It gets out easily actually. That is the Lotus technology. So based on that Lotus technology, this self-cleaning technology is adopted. Titanium dioxide and manganese dioxide, so many nanoparticles. They have put in the glass industry. And during the manufacture of glass, they put all these things.
So that means this nanotechnology has been used in various areas like self-cleaning, windows to flexible solar panels, self-healing concrete, materials to block ultraviolet and infrared radiation, and carbon fibers, energy coatings, heat absorbing windows. It is very interesting to see this application of nanotechnology for making a building green. I think, yeah.
So another is that Wi-Fi blocking paint is also there.
Correct. Okay.
So it blocks Wi-Fi to enter into this building actually. By
Nano sensors are also there. Yeah.
These are nanoparticles in the form of fibers, two-dimensional, three-dimensional bodies. By melting these things, it makes strong. So strengthen concrete also. See, nanotechnology in concrete using nanocarbon fibers, carbon steels, carbon tubes in the concrete improves its strength. Similarly, nanotechnology in steel also there. Nanotechnology in glass, nanotechnology in wood, nanotechnology painting, coating, all those things.
So in all aspects of construction materials, nanotechnology can be used.
Coating, self-cleaning paint, Lotus effect, Wi-Fi blocking paints, color. This is important, sir. Color changing paint with nano sensors. This is important. Nano sensors. Suppose I have painted my wall with blue. Suppose you don't like this, then you come with remote control. You change this wall color. It turns red. Simply by painting with nano paints.
Okay.
So if nanoparticles from gold, silver are added into paints, and nano sensors are added in it. By the use of remote, we can change the color of the paint. That is very important. Similarly, all those things are painting industry. Insulation, thermal insulating agents in roof and walls with vacuum and acoustic insulation panels, VIPs, aerosols, and this is important, sir. Temperature regulating with phase change materials, PCMs. This is very important. PCMs are nothing but
phase change material, is it?
This is a material.
Okay.
These are material. It has been embedded with two layers of gypsum board.
Okay.
This pouches inside void, they are filled with two layers of panels, gypsum panels, are squeezed with these. These are nothing but paraffin materials. So many materials, nanotechnology based materials. When heat comes into contact with it, it gets melts. Its phase from solid to it becomes liquid. So heat gets into it without entering the outside. It's the entire panel boards. Then heat cannot be come into it and it cannot go out. So it no need of air conditioning inside it. Simply by
phase changing material helps us to avoid air conditioning in a building.
It keeps room temperature constant.
Very cool. All right.
Similarly, aerosols. This is material. This is also used in glass, all those things. So temperature regulates it, all those things. This is how paneling is done inside the air purifying. Now, air purifying nanotechnology is used for air purifying. That is, there are certain curtains inside the room. Some nanomaterial embedded in this curtain material, nothing. They absorb all organic compounds, anything, the toxic microparticles. They act as a air purifying body. So these are nanotechnologies for use for interior design also. Solar protection. UV protection. This is definitely UV protection. Glasses are protected with glass, just like cars. Cars, when we are using cars, we can see without glass panels, I mean glass coatings, glass was fixed into. So temperature difference we must feel it. Similarly, glass windows are protected with UV protected films in order to check the UV ray as well as infrared also it can be detected. So these are methods. Fire proofing is also done with just
nanotechnology can be used also for solar this thing as well as for insulation as well. That is
fire protection, all the various fields that we can. So this is conclusion, sir. Nanotechnology of
nanotechnology, is it being used now, implemented in any of the construction projects in the country? How many projects would be using nanotechnology?
Almost all projects of green building in the platinum segment, they are using.
Okay. Platinum rating all have used nanotechnology for making it green. Almost all.
Not all nanoparticles, but they all are under research also. Research stage. Various are yet to come, and it is a.
It is not used. No, what I am asking is, no, it is not used now. Nanotechnology.
Few metals. What I changed is just color changing paints. That is yet to come. It is under research stage.
Okay.
So many small things. It is yet to come, and so many yet to come also.
All right.
So it is a first chapter actually.
Yeah.
I'm just concluding this.
Okay, please.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your interesting presentation on green building as well as nanotechnology. In fact, we could see some of the green buildings in India, which has got different levels of certification from various agencies like LEED, by IGBC and Griha, and all the certification agencies are also there. Very interesting to note that, as well as the use of nanotechnology in various construction materials. So I think it's a very interesting subject, and we need to explore further to understand it much better and to ensure its implementation. So with those few words, let me thank you once again for having given this presentation, and for the benefit of all the attendees as well as everyone who has logged in, we would be having two webinars tomorrow. One panel discussion in the morning at 10:30. Again, that is on sustainability in construction, and there would be a lot of discussions. In fact, it's a panel discussion tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. And in the evening at 4 p.m., we have got an interesting subject on concrete, because what are the practical implications in terms of quality and all those aspects. It would be taken by L&T Construction. So they would be looking at concrete and would be giving us a lot of insights on concrete from a practical perspective. So that is what tomorrow's two webinars are all about. So let us meet tomorrow again in the morning at 10:30 for the panel discussion. So with those few words, let me thank the speaker as well as the attendees who have logged in and all those who have made this event happen, Mr. Suraj as well as the IT team, and all the technical services team members, Mr. Avdesh Kumar Singh and Mr. Chandan Kumar Pani, who has made, who has coordinated for this particular event. So with those few words, let me thank all of you for having spared your time. All the best. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.